Welcome to Goldfish on Games, where today we're going on a bit of a road trip. And our destination is the Centre for Computing History, where today they're having their retro computer event, so let's check it out. For those of you unaware, the Centre for Computing History is based in Cambridge, England, and has a wide range of both computers as well as consoles, and is open to the public so you can go in and check them out, but you can also play on them, which makes it a really fun place to visit. Even though all these machines are actually still available today, this is not what we're here for. We're here to check out some really old machines that members of the public have brought in to show off. I started off in the education room, which normally is filled with BBC micros, but today it's got something very different. There were a few people selling new hardware for old machines, as well as people actually selling brand new hardware but given a retro twist, such as the Gigatron or the RC 2014. The room still had some of its educational chops, with the BBC micros lining the back. But there was also a bunch of other machines, including an Atari ST which seemed to be running Apple's OS, which was very weird, but thankfully there was a 486 next to it that was running some classic games. I just have to point out this machine that's just outside that room. It's a Mega Drive based arcade machine where you can play various games for a set amount of time. But this isn't what we're here for. We've got to go into the main hall and check out all the hardware. On top of their own collection of machines that are always there that you can play on, they had all the machines that the exhibitors had brought along, and boy, they'd brought quite a lot with them. These machines tended to range from relatively well known to extremely obscure. We're talking about maybe only 3 or 4 people in the entire country, possibly the entire world, knows about them, with some of them being quite unique as there are rare examples of these machines still running. For example, this SX64, that's right, the luggable C64. It might have had a tiny screen, but man, it's crystal clear. It might not have been great for typing on, but it looks absolutely amazing for games. The owner also had quite a range of obscure computing, many of which he'd restored and fixed up and got running again. But the prize might be this COMX 35, which did come with a bunch of software, but it was all on cassette tapes that had warped badly over the years. But somehow he managed to restore them and get them preserved. Now that is a legend. Now it wasn't just old games for old computers, there was also new games for old computers, such as this, Mindsnake, which was for the Sharp MZ80A, which with a small donation you could get a copy of, which, hey, I had to do. I don't own the machine, but hey, why wouldn't I want to get a copy of such an interesting title, which I played for a little bit. The objective is pretty much as you'd expect from Snake. You have to collect the various dots that are around the screen, but you can lay a bomb from your tail, and when that bomb explodes, it takes out part of the scenery, which allows you to get into areas that you couldn't before. As you can imagine, the difficulty ramps up quite a bit, as you're having to pay attention to both your head as well as your backside at the same time, so you need to time when to drop those bombs so you can get into those areas that you couldn't before. And if you die, then that bomb is gone as well. And while I was in a gaming mood, I had to check out this, the Atari 800. After messing around with my 600 XL, I had to go check out what the granddaddy actually looked and played like. And it was good fun. And talking about parents to machines on this channel, here is the Acorn 3010, which was a predecessor to the Acorn RISC PC 600, running one of the games that I could not get to run on that later machine at all, Virus. Or this is probably the demo version, which was called Lander, and this is a very tricky game to play with a mouse. It's very twitchy. And as I was checking out the Acorn machines, I had to lust after this thing, the Acorn Phoebe, aka the Acorn RISC PC 2. Ooh, this would have been a nice machine to have back in the day. Just a pity they never released it. But I'm not here to check out the machines they have around all the time. I'm here to check out all the fun machines that the exhibitors have brought along. And look who I bumped into. It's Re-Enthused, who brought along his amazing FM Towns hardware.
That Japanese there is most of the Japanese you see in this game, and the rest of it is in English. So they're very usable for non-Japanese speakers.
Who, as you can tell, is a massive FM Towns fan. He was running the Marty at the show because his FM Towns tower is still pretty new and being worked on, but he also had a bunch of other machines that were quite special. These were a selection of Japanese consoles that at some point in their life had a release of BASIC as well as a keyboard, so you could actually program and mess around with them. This included the Nintendo Famicom as well as the Sega SG-1000. And right next to him was Kwang of Asobi Tech, who brought along another very interesting set of machines, including the G700 Philips Video Pack, a machine that, strangely, I have a whole bunch of cartridges for, but not the hardware itself.
Wow, that's a hell
And
of a
it's
bounce.
a bit of an odd duck of a machine, but it's quite cool as it has a full keyboard and has, well, some fun little animations for some of its games. We actually sat and played some of them for quite some time.
Oh, these joysticks are so bad. In my phone!
No matter where you looked around, you found something new and interesting to check out. Some of these I have absolutely no idea what they are, or even when they were released, but they were certainly very fun to check out. Even some of the slightly more well-known machines had an interesting twist to them. And just check out this Texas Instruments T99 with this absolutely humongous expansion unit. Just look at that, it dwarfs that tiny screen. And then you have this machine that has the built-in cassette deck at the top there. And then you just random machines. It was just wonderful to walk around and check this all out. And I'm definitely going to be doing this again. And I ended the day checking out their Freestyle Friday table. Well, it was actually Saturday, so the label's a bit of a lie, but I'm not going to turn down checking out some free stuff. And of all the machines and bits of hardware that was there, this big case caught my attention. Now if we open it up with a bit of effort, come on, there we go. We can see it was some form of 486 probably, or possibly much earlier. It was not in a particularly great state, and at the end of the day I decided against picking it up. I probably could have put it to good use, but it would have taken a lot of work to clean that up. And I wasn't in the mood for that right now. I've got enough projects on the go as it is. So that pretty much ended my wonderful time at the Centre for Computing History. I hope you enjoyed my quick report on the Retro Computer event at the Centre for Computing History, and if you did, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, all that fun gubbins that you can do that shows how wonderful a person you are. Until next time, I've been the Goldfish, and thank you, and goodbye.